Welcome in tonight's TV. Tommy the V of Viola here with a very special guest today out at BB&T Ballpark. A beautiful day for baseball as the Charlotte Knights will take on the Rochester Red Wings. A doubleheader today as well. And I'm here with the great Denny McLain, who won 131 games over a 10-year career. But, of course, Denny, a 31-win season. First off, thanks for being here today. We're so happy to have you.
It's my pleasure. We've been looking forward to this ballpark. And, man, when we heard you guys were rocking and rolling down here, drawing like crazy. It's when you drive up on it, it looks like Yankee Stadium. It looks like Comerica. I mean, listen, folks, you got a major league stadium here, and you need to come out and see this place if you haven't been here. It is just magnificent.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate you saying that. It's been a good year for us here at the ballpark. Attendance has been great. Fans, the buzz here in Charlotte has been outstanding. But Denny, I want to talk to you about a lot of things today, and we'll keep it brief. You've done a number of interviews today already. So my questions to you go like this. I'm just 33 years old. I didn't have the privilege.
Twice as old as you.
I figured maybe something like that.
Would you like to have some?
I'm okay. I have enough.
I'll show you what you can look like if you get real heavy.
I'm okay. 33 years old myself, so obviously didn't get a chance to see you pitch. But I'll tell you how I was introduced to you. Growing up with my dad, big baseball fan. We played a lot of Stratomatic as a kid.
God, yeah.
Loved Stratomatic.
Lord,
My dad got me into that as a kid, and obviously your 1968 season, the 31 wins. That was a very good Stratomatic card with obviously all the outs and the 28 complete games that you had. Take us back to that year, Denny. How special of a year was that?
Well, it was really special. The biggest reason was we had a riot in 1967. I mean, we had 42 people get killed one night in a riot. All of a sudden, after 50 years, they were going to take down this after-hours club, and somebody pulled a gun on somebody, and that's when all the shooting and all the other stuff started to happen. So the 68 club became, in fact, the 67 club actually started it because we almost won the pennant anyway in 67. If I was healthy in the month of September, we'd have probably won it because we lost it by a half a game. But I got hurt in August and couldn't pitch anymore. But in 68, the ball club became the nucleus for the state of Michigan, for the city of Detroit. That's when we still had almost 2 million people living in the city. Today we had 700,000. And the bottom line simply was that everybody went to bed at night listening to Ernie Harwell on a transistor radio in bed. And then the other part was you woke up in the morning, you quick turned on WJR again, and or grabbed your free press or Detroit News, and you read to see what the hell they finished with last night, especially the West Coast games. And it's just amazing what that club did for that city. The night we won the pennant in 68, it was black and yellow and green and white and purple and whatever else the skin color you were. Everybody was hugging and kissing. It was a good night to be single, by the way. So a lot of good things happened with that ball club in 68. They quieted the turmoil. They kept the city in place. And they have gone out any number of times, the city of Detroit over the years, and commended that ball club because the players, we worked the schools, we worked the gymnasiums, we worked the marketplace, and just trying to keep peace in the city. And that ball club, they did it. They did it all by themselves. It was unbelievable. It was a miracle that, because cities were still burning in 68. And it was, thank God, this ball club was alive and well in 68.
Well, it was a special year, obviously a special year for you, but a special year for that team. When did you guys know you had something special, obviously with you and Mickey Lolich and just such a good team? When did you guys know that this team was pretty special?
I think we knew it coming at the end of the season. We knew we were close. We had to make a couple of changes. As a matter of fact, Jim Campbell, who was the president and general manager at the time, tried to trade Kaylin and I all winter. They worked like hell trying to trade Al and I, and they couldn't make the right deal, so they had to keep Al and I, thank God. And lo and behold, good things happen if you wait long enough. And we knew coming out of spring training with an addition or two that we made that we had something special. We knew we could compete with anybody. The only club we were a little bit afraid of were the Baltimore Orioles because they had such a good pitching staff. But, we got through them that year, too. And it was just one of those years. It was magic. And the other thing people don't realize is I think it was 42 or 44 times in 1968. After the seventh inning, we came back and won. It was, it was a miraculous year. It doesn't happen very often, but 42 or 44 times we came back after the seventh inning and won a ball game.
Wow. Speaking of 40s, you started 41 games that year, and you talk about the Orioles, of course. They go on in 69 to play the Mets. But obviously going into that World Series against a team like the Cardinals, Bob Gibson, he had a special year as well. Obviously, the 1.12 ERA. You win the 31 games.
Won 22 games. Anybody can win 22.
How exciting was that to be a part of that World Series? Obviously, you win Game 6. You guys go to a seven game series, but that was a big World Series.
It was the hype that was applied to the first game with Gibson and I pitching against each other was ridiculous, and the hype with the media was ridiculous. I mean, I had guys following me in. It was ABC actually. ABC guys following me into the urinal. And we all hope we have something to brag about in there, but let's not go crazy. That's how outrageous it was. I mean, we didn't have, the media today is, because you've got all the internet stuff and a blogger here and a blogger here, you've got so many more guys that got press credentials. And the bottom line is there's more of them. I don't know if they're as effective as it once was, but there's an awful lot of more places to see the ball game. But back in the 60s and 70s, you had only so many places. You had the newspapers and the radio and TV. And as TV started to take off really big time in the late 60s, early 70s, the game became more impressive at that point in time. They were easier to promote it at that point in time. So those are the things that I really look back upon and see how well the game has come. It comes so far in the way of promotion. A lot of other things we could argue about the talent and some of the other things that they do. But Major League Baseball, MLB, they've done a hell of a job promoting the game.
Let's talk about that for a moment. Obviously, winning the 31 games. You ever think that there'd be another 30-game winner now, especially the way baseball has become, and obviously now with all the relief pitchers and guys maybe going 6 innings, 7 innings, you think there'll ever be another 30-game winner?
I don't. Unless they pitch every fourth day, I don't think there's a chance because they're only getting 30, 31. Some of the guys getting 32 starts a year. That's how do you win 31 out of 33 or 30 out of 32? I don't know how you do it. This is a 162-game season, and that's why there hasn't been a lot of 30-game winners. You got a lot of chances, you get a lot of opportunity, but if you're only pitching every fifth day, what does that equate to? 30-some starts. That's it. And there's no way you're going to get more than that. So the numbers don't work. It's impossible, I believe. You're going to have some guys get on some streaks that are going to look like this or look like that. And remember, even the guys who won 26, 7, 8 games in the 80s, they never chased 30. Because when they got into September, they'd won like 23 or 24. Well, you don't have enough starts left to even get that much further. Got to remember, I won 20 in July. I had 20 before the end of the month of July was over with. So, I mean, we were really on a speedboat going there. And I played with one of the greatest teams, never given the greatest credit they should have been given. But when you have a Billy Freehan, 11-time All-Star, not going into the Hall of Fame yet, Norm Cash, Dick McCullough, Donnie Wirt, Al Kaline, Mickey Stanley, Willie Horton, Gates Brown, Jimmy Northrup, when you have those type of players, and they really were stars in their own rights, how do you lose? And we all gelled in 67, we lost it. 68 was our year. 69, we should have won it, but Baltimore won 108 games that year. No one's going to win 109 or 10. They really flew off the coop that year. So those 3 years, I think we were super competitive, of course, but we didn't win it. But the bottom line was it was one of the greatest teams ever put together.
It really was, and obviously hear a lot of great stories about that team. Last question for you as we wrap things up here with Denny McLain, who is here at BB&T Ballpark today in a doubleheader as the Charlotte Knights will host the Rochester Red Wings. How closely do you follow baseball nowadays? Living in Detroit, you follow the Tigers? I mean, are you? Sure.
I mean, we make about 225 appearances a year around the country, whether it be dinners or appearances like this today. We do an awful lot with baseball. We do an awful lot of work down in Tampa with Tampa Bay Rays. Have been great with us. We don't do much with the Tigers. They've got a whole different philosophy about the alumni, and it doesn't make any sense because they're the only club, I think, in baseball that really doesn't do a lot with their alumni for some reason, and it's unbeknown to all of us. But bottom line is, what we do with our appearances and dinners and things like that, we remain relevant. We also have a very large collection of memorabilia, which at every game that we appear at, we have a lot of it displayed. We buy, we sell, we trade, so it helps us in that arena. And listen, if you're going to do memorabilia, there's only one place to do it. It's in a ballpark, because everybody coming here is coming to see a baseball game. That's the one good thing versus going to a mall, for a card show or some facility. People coming here are coming to see baseball, and you'd like them to see the collection that we have. And who knows when the next Babe Ruth guy will walk up and want to trade something. That's what we look for every night.
Well, it sounds like you're doing a lot of great work, Denny. Obviously, we know you speaking engagements and at different ballparks and out there in the public and doing a good job. And really an absolute pleasure to sit here with you today and talk with you, knowing the history of baseball and knowing the kind of years that you put up, arguably some of the greatest years in that stretch there in the late 60s. A fantastic career for you, and we thank you for your time today. And thanks for being out here at BB&T Ballpark.
Thank you, my friend.
All right, there he is, Denny McLain, the last 30-game winner, 31 wins, of course, a 1968 season, 1.96 ERA that year too, Denny. Of course, you know, a very good year for him, and he's here today. He'll meet and greet fans and sign some autographs right here at BB&T Ballpark. I'm Tommy V. Viola for Knights TV.